Okay, so in this question here, it says express the following as a single fraction in its simplest form. So ultimately we want an answer like this, right? Where we've got something on the top divided by something on the bottom. Okay, once we've got that, there's our answer, okay? They're not asking us to work out x. This isn't an equation. You know, if it was an equation, we'd have equals to something near a number and we could work out x. They're not asking that, they just want it as a fraction. And you notice here what I've done, right? I've started off by what we probably should be doing on our first line, okay? In order to add fractions, you know, or if we were taking away fractions, whatever, you would need to get a common denominator, right? That's the only way you can do it. And our common denominator in this case is x, 4x plus 3, right? And this, you've got obviously the same denominator here then. And I get that just by timesing the bottom terms together, right? And that's how you sort of could think of it that way, all right? But if we think about it in terms of numbers, that's pretty much what we often do. So for instance, if I had 1/3 plus 1/4, and I wanted to add these together, right? Well, the common denominator then would be 12, wouldn't it? Okay, and you'd have to ask yourself, well, why is it 12? Well, it's 12 because, of course, it's a common multiple of 3 and 4, isn't it? 3 and 4 both go into 12. But also, if you think about it, to get from 3 to 12, I've got to times the 3 by that number here, if that makes sense. And to get from 4 to 12, I've got to times what's on the bottom here by what's on the bottom there. So you're timesing these two together, in effect, aren't you? 3 times 4, right? And you get 12 there, 12 here. Now, let's go back to our sort of question, and that's what I've done here, right? Put these together. And then you just got to ask yourself, well, what have I done to this fraction here? I've gone from x now to x times by 4x plus 3. Now, if I times the bottom, if I times this bottom here by 4x plus 3, I've also got to times the top by 4x plus 3 as well. Yeah, so when I scale fraction, you've got to do the same to the top as you do to the bottom. So we end up with that, right? So we end up with double bracket on the top. And the same here then, right? You know, I had 4x plus 3 here, and now I've suddenly got x times 4x plus 3. So I've times this by an x, so now I've got to times the top by x as well. So I'll get 4 times x, which is 4x. Okay? Now, what's good about this is I've got now, as I said, common denominator, so I can write the whole thing over x, 4x plus 3. Okay? And then on the top, you need to simplify this, right? On the bottom, I would leave this as it is. I wouldn't multiply out. That's fine as it is. But on the top, because you've got, essentially, you know, you've got double bracket, haven't you? And then you've got this 4x, okay? It can be simplified and tidied up, all right? So what I would do is I'd expand this here on the top. So 3x times 4x is 12x squared. So you're doing FOIL, yeah? 3x times 4x is 12x squared. Then you do, that's the first, isn't it? Then we're going to do the outers. 3x times 3 is 9x. The inners then, 2x times 4x is 8x, so it'll be minus 8x. And then the last 2 times 3 is 6, so it'll be minus 6. Plus then 4x over x, 4x plus 3. Okay? This then simplifies on the top to become 12x squared plus x. Is that right? So we've got 9x there plus, sorry, 9x there, take away 8x is 1x, plus 4x is 5x, sorry, take away 6, okay? And then all over x bracket 4x plus 3. Now, you think now maybe I'm done, right? But unfortunately, there might be a little bit more work involved, all right? So we've got it as one fraction, but it does say, doesn't it, in its simplest form, all right? So, there's not much room here. We need to think, can I do this any simpler? Bottom is fine, right? You can't do any more to the bottom here, but the top, if you notice, can you see we've got a quadratic here? Okay, so we could actually factorize this top here. Possibly, might not be able to, but we're going to see now. So when we factorize, of course, we do this multiply add thing, yeah. So let's just do this. Let's see if this will factorize. Okay. Now in this case, because there's 12 in front, you're going to write 12x in both brackets. And you do then, remember, to get the multiply bit, you do 12 times 6, which is minus 72, yeah? This is minus 6. And then add up to give 5. Now let's think of numbers that are multiplied to give 72 and add up to give 5. Well, 72, you've got 1 times 72, that's no good. 2 times 36, no. 3 times 24, that won't add up to give 5. 4 times 18, no. 5 doesn't go into it. 6 goes into it. 6 and 12, well, you can't get 5 from 6 and 12. 7, no. 8 times 9, can't get 5 from it, can you? So I think we're done. Okay, that's it. So can't factorize this. So we complete. There's our final answer.